What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We got to talk about a few of these things. It's out of control what's going on. Chris Cuomo obviously set the record straight, which I'm starting to like him a little bit more lately. Mamdani loses his mind, loses his way, but now he's headed to the White House. But the craziest story of the day is a former staffer. She is Jussie Smollett times 500. Welcome to the Officer Tatum Show.
If you don't believe that we are in a fight today, you're sleeping under a rock. If you get hit and you lay down and you cry and you fold up in the corner, definitely you will not win the fight. We show up to win. Our culture needs a lot of you young people in here to step up and stand out. There is nothing or no principality, power, division, devil can stop us when we're united. They can only get you when you're divided. When I see the American flag, I see us progressing to something that can be awesome and great. And if you don't plan on winning big, you might as well go home today.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Like, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like and subscribe to all of my channels. I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, I'm on X, I'm on everything, especially my Substack, which is something that I really enjoy. It's the written form of a lot of things that I say. And sometimes I do things outside of the content I already make and write some exclusive stuff for you guys. So make sure you go and follow me on there. Make sure you follow my podcast, The Officer Tatum Show, everything. And if you don't know where to go, just put The Officer Tatum in there and you'll find me on everything that you consume content on. Now, I told y'all this is the craziest story that you're going to hear, I don't know, for the rest of the year. It can't get crazier than this one. This woman, in the spirit of Jussie Smollett, in the spirit of fake hate crime hoax, this woman literally, I'm going to let the news tell you, but I want you to see what she looked like first. What would make this woman do what she did? I feel like the hotter they are, the crazier they are. It's like a hot crazy scale. Maybe y'all saw that chart. The hotter they are, the more insane they are. This young lady, former Republican staffer, decided to create a hoax. Before we get to the news, let's just look at her injuries. Look at what she did to herself. Now, it's hard for me to even articulate this. That girl ended up like this, and it wasn't even real. Now, her injuries are real, but how it happened is not real. I gotta let the news tell you. Let's go to the news clip. Roll it.
These images show a then Republican congressional staffer lying face down in a New Jersey nature reserve, her hands zip-tied behind her back, her body lacerated with Trump and a profane word written across her stomach. Tonight, federal prosecutors allege 26-year-old Natalie Green did this to herself, part of an elaborate hoax meant to look like a politically motivated attack. According to the criminal complaint, at around 10:30 p.m. on July 23rd, an unnamed co-conspirator called 911, telling dispatch that she and Green had been walking the trail when three guys just attacked us, talking politics and stuff, calling Green a racist. Police say they found Green crying loudly and yelling, "He has a gun, he has a gun." Investigators later found duct tape and black zip ties inside Green's Maserati. They also allege Green paid an artist $500 to cut her body just hours before the hoax attack. The court documents noting the cuts made to Green's skin at her request follow the exact same pattern as the lacerations observed when she was lying on the ground. Green is now charged with conspiracy to convey false information and hoaxes and with making false statements. In a statement, her lawyer writing, under the law, she is presumed innocent. Today, the congressman she used to work for, Jeff Van Drew, said he hopes she's getting the care she needs.
I don't know any more than you all do, and we never would interfere with an investigation or a criminal process.
Aaron McLaughlin, NBC News.
Okay,
Now, Shawty, y'all help me in the comment section. Why would somebody do this? There's a lot of other hoax you can do than to permanently scratch your body up. And I bet it was painful. So this young lady, because she wanted to create a hoax, after seeing Jussie Smollett and all these other people go down, down, baby, after lying through their teeth about it, she said, I'm going to go to the ultimate hoax. I'm going to have duct tape. I'm going to go into a wooded area. I'm going to pay somebody to scrape my body up with lines and scars you can never take off. And I'm going to do this to say I was attacked by, I don't know who, a leftist. And it's all fake. What is happening to America? Let me not say America. It's only stupid people do this. Me and you would never do nothing stupid like this. I mean, what's you going to get? A settlement? You know, what was going to come of this? It ain't like there's money to be made, is it? Maybe she would have had a GoFundMe. Maybe that's what she was going to do. But I want to introduce something to you guys real quick about the law. Police officers, 5-0, the boys in blue, they do this every day. So when you get on a call or they go to interview you, immediately they know you lying. They know you lying because they know what a real victim look like. They know what a real victim acts like. They know what real victims say versus people who stage crimes. Immediately you know they're lying. So if you think you're going to go scratch your body up and claim somebody did it, you might as well have hired a person to do it and you don't see it coming. And you are part of the scam. You're a part of the scam and you don't know it. And you really get abused by somebody, then you can have a real testimony. I wouldn't recommend anybody do that because you're stupid. So not only did this pretty girl, she was pretty, with a bad soul, get scratched up, scraped up. Now she was found lying. She's embarrassed. Now she's going to go to jail. So you're going to go to jail, disgraced, scratched up, and embarrassed. You can't make this stuff up. Let's get to my boy Cuomo. I didn't like Cuomo at first. And then I said, you know what? Cuomo kind of coming over the hill because he used to be a leftist nut job, hating on Trump, everything out his mouth. I'm telling you guys, when they leave mainstream, you find out who they really are. And sometimes who they really are is bad. And other times who they really are is actually people we like. There's been so many people that have done that. Megyn Kelly is starting to get a little weird now, but she was a terrorist against Trump when she was on CNN, Fox News, or whatever she was on first. And I ain't like her. I said, man, I can't stand this woman. She leave the news network, and you like, she making the most sense out of most of these people. Then you see Tucker, and he went from making sense to just being stupid. But anyway, let's get to Chris Cuomo real quick. This is Chris Cuomo saying that the Democrats are asking for trouble. Illuminating that the Democrat, as much as they say Republicans are doing bad, the Democrats are even far worse than we are. We got a little infighting going on. These people are ridiculous Nazis electing communists and all kind of stuff. Roll the clip.
Right or wrong? This? Wrong. All day long. He's MAGA. Shut up. This is the truth. Okay? Saying what they said is not even close to illegal. It is not even close to any legal or logical definition of treason. And if you watch this show, I said last night when it came out, it was wrong to put the duty to check a president on the troops. It's on you. You have a constitutional duty. What an ugly irony that it's members of Congress asking this. It should be citizens who might be asking that. You were supposed to check. It's why you raised your right hand. But what is it about now? They're looking for a fight. Why? Because you want them to. Because you want a muscular response to Trump. You want him to stop walking all over you. You want him to stop getting away with everything and him calling the game all the time and controlling everything. You want a muscular response. That's why you want Newsom on Twitter, acting like fools. We're all acting like fools. Why? Because I guess we don't know any better anymore. But I know we're playing with fire, and I know worse is to come on this course. I don't like it. I don't want it. I will leave my family. I will enter unsafe conditions to cover it. But if we don't reset and fast, we are asking for big trouble. Okay?
Now, some of y'all are probably wondering, what is Cuomo talking about? I'm glad that he addressed it, and now I'm going to show you guys that crazy video that he's talking about. Democrats are insane, man. All right, let's put up the video and roll it.
I'm Senator Alyssa Slotkin.
Senator Mark Kelly.
Representative Chris DeLuzio.
Congresswoman Maggie Goodlander.
Representative Chrissy Houlihan.
Congressman Jason Crow. I was a captain in the United States Navy.
Former CIA officer.
Former Navy.
Former paratrooper and Army Ranger.
Former intelligence officer.
Former Air Force.
We want to speak directly to members of the military
And the intelligence community.
Who take risks each day
To keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk.
This administration is pitting our uniformed military
And intelligence community professionals.
against American citizens.
like us.
Where?
You all swore an oath.
To protect and defend this Constitution.
And right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad.
But from right here at home.
Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law.
Or our Constitution.
We know this is hard.
And that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
But whether you're serving in the CIA,
In the Army,
Our Navy,
The Air Force.
Your vigilance is critical.
and know that we have your back.
because now, more than ever,
The American people need you.
We need you to stand up for our laws.
our Constitution,
And who we are as Americans. Don't give up.
don't give up.
don't give up.
Don't give up the ship.
Y'all going straight to hell for this. Now let's talk about this for a minute. If you refuse to obey a lawful order, somebody wrote this to me last night and I had no idea what they were talking about. I was like, what? Why did they send me this statute? If you refuse a lawful order from the commander in chief, you don't say you don't get. That's like being on the side of the road and a cop pull you over and they give you a lawful order and you disagree with the lawful order and you go and do all this stuff. You're gonna go to jail. So if you're in the military and you think that you're gonna disobey the commander in chief because of your own political reasons, you're gonna go to jail. All right, so let's get this correct. I'm just gonna give you some ideas of if you ended up deciding you're gonna disobey a lawful order. Because the problem with what these dumb Democrats are doing is they're trying to say that something that Donald Trump has done is illegal. But the reality is, if it's not clear to you, if it's not proven in the court of law, if the Supreme Court haven't ruled that what Donald Trump is doing is illegal or somehow unconstitutional and it's ambiguous, you can find yourself getting in crazy trouble. And nothing that he's asking the military to do is against the law. It's not obviously against the law. It's not obviously against the Constitution of the United States of America. If the Supreme Court rules that it's unconstitutional and Donald Trump still makes you do it, then that's a different story. But right now, there is no ruling of unconstitutionality of what Donald Trump is asking the military to do domestically and abroad. So let's get that clear. Could the Democrats be right? Yeah, if there was actually something where it was proven in the court of law, the Supreme Court ruled that it's unconstitutional to make you do it. That don't exist. Now you mess around and do what they trying to tell you to do. Article 90, willful disobedience of a lawful command of a superior commissioned officer. Maximum penalty, dishonorably discharge, forfeiture of all pay and allowance, up to 5 years confinement. Then we go on to Article 92, failure to obey a lawful order. Maximum penalty, bad conduct discharge, forfeiture of pay, 2 years confinement. Now let's go down to some of the other penalties. If you decide to do this in wartime, it's even worse. All right, let's go through the steps. We'll get to wartime here in a second. But the steps. If the order is lawful and you refuse, immediate discipline. Your commander officer will detain, relieve, or confine you. Reform charges, or for formal charges. You can be charged under the codes that I just said, Article 90, Article 92. Court-martial, a military trial determining punishment. Possible punishment or imprisonment. Serious refusal can result in federal prison. Your career will be over. Why are they encouraging people to do this? You do this in wartime. Disobeying orders can carry up to life imprisonment. In extreme cases, the penalty could be death. Why y'all playing? Why you playing? And this is why, in my personal opinion, This is why Chris Cuomo was upset about this, because they just want to cause chaos. They just want to cause confusion under the Trump administration. They weren't saying none of this stuff when Barack Obama was carrying out the biggest deportation in the United States history. They weren't saying anything when there was deportations even under Joe Biden. It wasn't enough. It wasn't sufficient, but they still happened, and they said nothing. I just cannot wait. Well, I guess it'll never happen, really. To the day when they stop playing politics and start focusing on what the American people actually need, and both sides come together to do the bidding of the people, and not being partisan and arguing over stupid stuff, shutting down the government because you don't like the president because you want your president in there. I wish there were penalties for people like this. I wish they all, you can't serve a next term if y'all can't agree on nothing. Everybody have to restart. We got to get new people in. That's what should happen. Now we got to talk about Mamdani. This guy here, I said this, I was just in New York. It's going to go one of two ways. He's going to either be a radical nut job, and I want y'all to comment in the comment section and let me know what you think, which way you think he's going to go. A, he's going to be a communist nut job while running for office. Now that he's elected, he's going to calm down. He's going to be reasonable. He's going to be measured. He's going to do all the right things, and he's going to be in there forever. B, he's a nut job when he ran, and he's going to be even nuttier as the mayor of New York. He's going to be worse. It's going to be the worst thing we've ever experienced. Which one do you think is going to happen? A or B? Let's get to a few clips, because apparently he's going to go to the White House, which was suggested by somebody that said the same thing I said, is if he's going, he could end up getting himself in a position to do, I guess you would say, really well for New York by doing none of the stuff he said he's going to do, right? I mean, it's sad when doing well is doing nothing. So if he absolutely do nothing he said he's going to do, and New York is run exactly like it's run, people are going to view that as a victory, because you're looking at communism versus the state of New York, how it already exists. And meeting with Donald Trump and saying, what can we do to work together, is the right move for him. And that joker may stay in there forever and end up running for president. That may be the thing. Roll the clip.
President Trump taking to social media on Truth Social to post about this meeting and using one of his standby tactics, which is some name calling, saying that he is about to take a meeting with communist Mayor Zoran Mamdani in the Oval Office. But Mamdani, for his part, staying on message. He says he's going to go to the Oval Office to talk about safety and affordability in our city.
Mayor-elect Zoran Mamdani set to meet with the president tomorrow to talk about his priorities for New Yorkers, announcing he'll focus on 3 pillars for the city: public safety, economic security, and the affordability agenda that over 1 million New Yorkers voted for. His focus on public safety comes as he announces the continuation of Public Commissioner Jessica Tisch in the job of top cop, the two making their first public appearance since that agreement, with Tisch taking Mamdani on a tour of the NYPD Memorial for Fallen Officers. Mamdani addressing safety in an exclusive interview with Pix 11's Dan Manarino, lauding Tisch for achieving historic drops in crime and addressing the number of cops in the city.
Now, I've said time and again that the amount that we had budgeted through the course of this campaign, that's the amount that we need in New York City. And frankly, the issue that we're facing is not the question of how many more officers we'll hire, but as you've said, how many officers we'll be able to keep.
While also insisting the city needs to do the work on homelessness and mental health, not officers. The other big agenda item, affordability, vowing he will freeze rents on day one for 2 million rent-stabilized New Yorkers, while conceding fast and free buses and free childcare will take time to achieve, promising, though, it will be done.
Freezing rents is insane. I heard people describe what freezing rent has done to the housing market there, the rental market there. Is insane. If you freeze the rent, the landlord is not going to do landlord improvements. You're going to have a place that's been the same for 40 years. And then if things are going to break down, they're not going to fix it. Because you can freeze the rent, but their cost doesn't freeze. Stuff gets more expensive every year, but you're going to freeze the rent. So the people who own, and then you're going to have people sell their property and just or abandon it. They can abandon and go bankrupt, move out of the city. These people have nowhere to live. And it's crazy to me to think that that makes sense. There's got to be a sensible approach to this. A sensible approach to this. There has to be a way that you say, yeah, you can continue to raise the rent, but then there's obligations for you to actually improve the living arrangements or the living conditions of the actual property that you own. So you can raise the rent, but you got to improve things. But instead they go, freeze the rent, improve nothing. When things break down, you got to wait 2 months to get it fixed. Your apartment break down, who cares? The owner ain't got the money. Their revenue ain't growing. And they're going to do something else with their money. But that makes sense to nobody. Okay, let's get to some of the stuff he said. They asked him, how you going to pay for the buses? And people so stupid. They just vote for people because they are good talkers. Like this explanation is not sufficient. Roll the clip.
And the other one, you're talking about fast and free buses and you're meeting with the governor. I've heard you talk about many times that you don't want to take money away from the MTA. You want to put money back in. It's something that she agrees with, right? We don't want to take away money from the MTA. How are you getting that money, the $700 million to make the buses free, into the MTA if she's not for raising taxes?
You know, I think that the two clearest ways to raise that money is through the raising of the state's corporate tax to match that of New Jersey. I think that a lot of this is still a case to be made, whether it's the corporate tax or whether it's the personal income tax on those who make more than $1 million a year or more. I think that these are the clearest ways. I've also said that if there are other ways to raise this funding, the most important fact is that we fund it, not the question of how we do it, but that we do
it. Man, if I could say that every time my wife asks me something, you know, it's like my wife say, Brandon, how you gonna afford to do that? Baby, it's not a question of how, it's that I need to afford it. Okay. Baby, I'm gonna go buy a cigar lounge because I just want a cigar lounge because I think it's better for my mental health for me to own a cigar lounge. And my wife say, now how you gonna buy a cigar lounge? Baby, it's not about how I'm gonna get the money to do it. It's that I need to do it. It's still a conversation to be had with the bank said no. Well, it's a conversation that need to be had, right? I need to do it. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. It don't matter how I'm gonna do it. It's like, you know how silly that is? Brother, the plan is very simple. You either can do it or you cannot do it. Everything that I've done in my life, this is why I know these guys these people are frauds. Everything I've done in my life. Now, there may be a strategic plan to say, I don't know how I'm gonna get the money, but I have a plan. Right? I don't know if this is going to work, but one of these are going to work, and I have a plan to do all 5 of them. You don't go say, I can't even give you an alternative to say I'm going to do it that way. For instance, when I got this building, at first, and I had the finances to do it, I think because I was young business, I don't know, because maybe they thought it was a risk. We had a 5-year deal here, and at first they told me no. I'm not looking in the mirror and saying, I don't know how I'm gonna get it. I just know I need to get it. It's like, no, I got the money to do it. I just need to have a conversation with them, have somebody else, one of my mentors, talk to somebody high up in the company, and they may understand this a little better. Or we can work with securing money down and different things like that. So there's different options to do to get to a point. But when you don't have any plan at all, you have nothing to say. Let's get to the next clip, clip 603.
I think that people are going to look at it and say, well, how can you get to those positive outcomes of public safety if you disagree on things like the strategic response group? She wants to keep it. You want to get rid of it. Where did you land on that?
You know, I continue to have my concerns around the strategic response group because there are concerns around the fact of whether we can ensure that we're not only protecting New Yorkers, but also New Yorkers' ability to exercise their First Amendment rights. And I see with the commissioner a shared belief in the importance of that exercise as well as being able to protect New Yorkers. And I think when you look at No Kings, the protest where we had tens of thousands of New Yorkers come out in the streets and voice their displeasure with the federal administration that has been going after them time and time again, we saw that that was not only an exercise of their First Amendment rights, but also something that they were able to do safely.
Yeah, this is fitting. While we're talking about public safety, right? We hear the sirens going. So just to stay on that for a moment, the strategic response group, is it going away, or was that a negotiation that she wanted to keep it?
No, I've made clear my concerns. I don't think that the NYPD strategic response group should be how we respond to protests, and that's something that we'll be following through.
So it's going away.
Now, I want to clarify something for you guys, or at least let you know what it is. When you talk about the strategic response team, right? And I met a guy that was on this team in New York. I had to go and look it up to verify what I was talking about. The SRG is a specialized unit within the New York Police Department tasked with rapid response to citywide mobilization, civil disorder, major events, situations that require elevated police response. Now, this is like the SWAT team, but they do more stuff, right? Vehicle accidents, fires, all kind of stuff. This response team responds to all of that. And so this is like the SWAT team. These are the trained people. These are individuals that can combat violence and do other things like that. It's a response team. They should call it SWAT, but they don't call it SWAT. Now, Mamdani is saying that he wants to get rid of this response team's response to riots, unruly gathering, people bludgeoning people in the middle of the street, burning buildings. What is the sense in that? The response team, how is it a problem to respond to an unruly gathering or a riot, or respond to a protest and make sure it doesn't get out of control? Like, it's all empty platitudes. Okay, we got more. I had to just pull it up. Let's go to clip 604. Roll it.
If you do face this mass resignation, John Shell was just on this panel the other day talking about, well, there's going to be 4,000 who leave on day one. If that happens, are you willing to hire that 4,000 back immediately?
So I don't even need to engage in the hypothetical because I don't see that happening. And I think there's been a lot of that kind of rhetoric about what will happen if I were to win, what will happen if I were to become the mayor. We're already seeing in the last few weeks alone that so much of that is actually being backpedaled on, as we're seeing that people are not leaving, people are committed to the city.
Now, that's not a good response. That's not a good response. To be honest, if you are an actual politician who cared and you're looking for solutions and you're a leader, you need to have a contingency plan for all of the above. So you say, I just don't think that's going to happen. Well, if it does happen, what are you going to do? Oh, I just don't entertain that. No, you need to entertain that. You need to entertain that. If 4,000 police officers quit on day one, what are you going to do? And the guy said, are you going to hire them back immediately? I mean, at least you could say, I'm going to do a discussion. We're going to have a discussion. I'm willing to compromise on different points because we need them to be enforcing the law in our cities. So I'm not going to allow them to leave. I'm going to work with them. I'm going to do the best that we can. I'm going to negotiate the terms that they want. I'm going to make the environment better for them in the avenues that I can so that they do not leave. I don't anticipate them leaving, but I'm going to work hard that they don't leave. Like, he could have said that, but he didn't say that. He was randomly talking about, well, I don't anticipate it happening, so you don't have a contingency plan if it does. I mean, I don't know. I'm not trying to judge a person like, saying woulda, coulda, shoulda, this is what I would have said if woulda, coulda, had. But, it just seems to be that if I was in that position, I would genuinely take notice to all of these concerns and have a response. I would have a legitimate response. Now, I'm praying for y'all in New York. I'm praying for y'all, man. I really do hope this guy don't end up not doing anything that he said he was going to do. I'm really hoping that the police department don't just quit. I'm really hoping that he don't try to dismantle the tactical response team from NYPD. I was just in New York, and I was talking to a guy that was on that team. And people are very upset with Mamdani. People don't want to be police officers, but there's a lot of individuals that are stuck in a position where they have to feed their family. So it's like, we're going to put up with this because I got to put food on the table. I can't just uproot my whole family and leave. It's not because they don't want to leave. It's not because they don't have plans to try to leave. It's that they can't leave. That's how it is. And the gentleman I was talking to, he was saying he make like $180 a year and still going check to check in New York. You know how crazy that is? New York, I ain't going to give up on you. I'm praying for you. God bless America. God bless you guys. I'll see you on the next one. Make sure you like and subscribe to all of my content. I'm out.
Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.